torque to here, right? And then we have this torque to there. Now I'm full torque. I'm just past 90, I'm full torque, and I have the proper secondary tilt. If I add extension from here, I'm okay. Like in the top half of the backswing, your swing is going to, if we broke it down in segments, is going to go boom, right? And then boom, I'm taking the arms out, right? This is pivot. And then you're going to go like that, all right? So once you're here, as long as I see that lower body torque, upper body continues, to help put torque in the ground, I see secondary tilts now, and then I see you go into extension. Like I can't overextend. If I do all of this properly, I can't overextend here. You see what I'm saying? So I don't mind seeing that extension, because actually in reality, we got the torques in the ground started, we've got the torques in the ground completed, this goes into extension. As we now reverse gears, I push to the left for my horizontals. I now, as I'm torquing back on the platform, I just went back into flexion. You see what I'm saying? And that going from extension back into flexion, and with my shoulders still to the right as this squares up, actually helps me keep my slot direction and everything going. And also this going into flexion as I'm getting back into the ground puts me in a position to go back into extension at the right time. So all that is good. It needs to be synchronized. But a very simple pivot drill is, I've got my dynamic posture, I've got my bump, I'm into the ground, I'm going to create my initiating torques. I'm now going to finish my torques. I'm going to go ahead and extend. I'm going to reverse gears by pushing this way. I'm going to now reverse the torquing gears and feel like I've gotten back into almost a little crunch or flexion right here. Now I'm ready to go vertical, into my delivery, right? And now I'm facing where my extension is going to be before I finish the whole thing off. Like, where are our hips at impact? Where's our body at impact, okay? So remember that I've loaded up in the backswing. I've created the change of directions with the horizontal shift right now, okay? And your horizontals come from, actually the way you torque into the ground creates a little bit of rearward translation horizontal in the backswing. And as you keep torquing, it starts torquing you back towards the left before you finish the horizontal push to the left, by the way. Okay. So the way you torque, by the way, creates a horizontal translation this way, and then you add this push, this extra push in there, okay? And those are all your horizontals. Yeah, so you have this, you've always had this this move, haven't you?
Yep.
That's because athletically your body wants to do that. So as you're torquing, that's already in there. There's some of that in there as you're torquing, and then you're pushing back to the left before you start down. Okay?
And if we were talking about sequencing things, this little 4-inch horizontal is happening very early.
That's the point. It happens really, really early. So this is going boom. You're going up to the top, right? And before this drops in the slot, you're already pushing that way. But you're doing it without leaning this way, right? Your lower body's doing all that work, all right? So now, when do all those torquing forces work? Boom, I'm creating those torques in the ground right now, right? So I'm creating those torques right from here, and by halfway down, they're completed.
Okay.
So now, here's the point I was going to make. The motion that's going to follow this work that's already being done is going to happen when you're applying vertical forces. So as you apply the vertical forces, right, first you apply the vertical force before the vertical action, but as you start to apply those, the opening of the hips, whatever amount they're going to open through impact, is going to happen because you've already done the work back here at the right time, and just as you go vertical, the motion that follows the work that was done just shows up, and you don't have to.
That's more internal kinetics.
No.
Or no, it's caused by the external kinetics.
Exactly. And
Maybe
so it's caused by two things: the external work that's been done, those external kinetics that have been, we've already applied, and the work that's been done to do that. You've used internal kinetics to get that work done, by the way. Okay. The rest of it, the body's responding to that, okay? And the internal kinetics that respond to that naturally, athletically, based upon your dynamic pattern, shows up without you trying to outrace it all. Trying to make it go more than it is.
And if I'm sequencing this the right way, it is horizontal.
Right.
rotary.
Torque back on the platform. So horizontal, torque back on the platform. So
now,
and here's the difference is that when I torque back on the platform, you see how squared up I am?
yep,
Even though I'm left of center, I've got that left of center anchor going, right, or post. I'm in a position I can jump.
yep, yep.
You wouldn't go like this to jump, would you?
No.
You see what I'm saying? But that's kind of what you're, either through training or belief or something you've
Artificially
got,
trying to
you've
get
gotten
to
to.
the position. Yep.
So we need to be better at really getting back on the platform and being there by the time you're ready for delivery. And I'm kind of chasing past where you need to be because I'm throwing a little bit of
Yep,
me
yep,
in there
yep,
again,
yep.
okay? But by this time you have to have it done.
Mhm.
So now when you go vertical and you smash it, your hips just open the amount they need to open without them looking like a Dustin Johnson or something.
Mhm.
And that allows you to smash and go to counter extension, which is around here somewhere.
Yep.
And then as you just go out to your finish, your arms just naturally either swing in front or go up the plane somewhere in between there, because we know you're not a swing left alt. So that's really the key. And sort of to that end, if we are going to practice some drills, the bookending, back to the bookending concept, is what you would do is you would practice these platform drills where you get to the platform. Now you try to hold the platform, smash it, and add the posture up in at the right time. And it should be very, very efficient. That drill, I should get over 80% of my normal total distance, right? And so I got 157 yards with my 8-iron,
Yep, yep.
right? So that's about 80% of my total distance for an 8-iron.
Yep, yep.
And so what we would start to see is, the more I posture up and go to a fuller finish from that drill, right, I'm adding forward.
Mhm.
This is the bookending stuff, right? I'm not worried about bigger backswing yet.
Right.
So I'm going to do this drill again. Boom, I'm on that platform. Now I'm going to take it back and work on posturing up even more. And I got your release that time.
Mhm.
So now we can see I got 175 out of that.
Yep.
And so, amazing, without even doing the bigger backswing
Right,
yet.
you're right.
And this is why, through college and all that, up until at least my accent, I could play 8-irons 200 yards, no problem. And it wasn't because I'm big and strong and all that, it's because I use the forces right. Yeah. And it's pretty clear here, obviously I can get to that, even I'll be 55 in a couple of months. Even at that, I can still get to that, right? And so the ability now, from there to add in a bigger backswing and then go from there. And here's what's interesting, I didn't even warm up today. If I tried to make a bigger backswing and a fuller finish, I'd be all over the place. It'd be terrible. But I could start with a platform drill and get good, efficient energy right off the bat because I'm using those kinetics, right?
Yeah.
And then I can go from platform to full finish, and I can very quickly get more speed out of things. I may not coordinate the release and everything the way I want, but I can get the speed and everything going early if I focus more on platform and then posturing up out of platform instead of worrying about a bigger backswing.
Yep, yep.
If you're really getting that platform right, once you're on that platform and you go vertical, how your body's responding to the fact that you already did the torquing work back here, and as you go vertical, whatever torquing motions are going to follow the work that was done. Force creates motion. So you did the work, you got the forces applied back here. This is going to continue to go, and as you go vertical, it just shows up. So, but at that point, you're just going vertical. You allow how much you are going to open when you're going vertical, not worrying about how much you're going to open.
Mhm.
I see too many people out racing their verticals or out racing, the platform, So like a lot of times I see people that go up to the top and there's a horizontal shift where I skipped over the platform. I didn't get back into the platform, right? People get to here and they fire their hips,
Yep.
but my opening outraced my verticals,
Mhm.
which now created a timing issue with my verticals. I want to go to the top, create the horizontals, I want to torque back on the platform. Once I'm on the platform, I want to start pushing vertically to match it to delivery. And whatever opening up, like Bert's Kapka's like this when he does it. Dustin Johnson's like this when he does it. Probably doesn't look exactly like them, obviously, but you get the point, right? It's not that you have to try to get your hips more open. It's that you have to get the torquing forces applied at the right time and go vertical at the right time. And the internal kinetics that need to get you where you need to get to will actually respond and show up. You know, based upon your athletic dynamic patterns. Now, if you spend a lot of time changing athletic dynamic patterns, then you actually could make it look different.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you're going to get more out of it necessarily, though. I mean, I'm 55 years old, and look what I'm doing, utilizing the platform properly.